Hello and welcome to the University of Chester's virtual campus tour. My name's Zoe and I am one of the HE advisors, and today we are going to be hearing all about the Faculty of Medicine and Life Sciences. This includes the Department of Clinical Science and Nutrition, Chester Medical School and the Department of Sport and Exercise Science. All courses within this faculty are based at Parkgate Road Campus Chester and University Centre Shrewsbury. If you have any questions today, please feel free to ask them in the live chat. We have a whole host of students and staff ready and waiting to help you. Later, I'll be joined on the sofa by some of our students to hear about their experiences of living and studying at the University of Chester. We'll also have the chance to introduce you to our great campus facilities and examples of our accommodation. Firstly, let's go over to our academic staff who are going to show you the facilities that we use to teach our programmes.
Well, hello, my name's Professor John Alclard. I'm the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Life Sciences here at the University of Chester. And we're based here mainly. This is the Parkgate Road campus, which is just on the outskirts of the city centre in Chester. But we also have facilities at Riverside. That's where most of our clinical skills and simulation laboratories are. And we've also got laboratories and lecture theatres and seminar rooms down at the University Centre in Shrewsbury.
Hello, my name's Edward Thompson. I'm one of the senior lecturers within Sport and Exercise Sciences, principally within the area of sports biomechanics and sports medicine. Now, just now you're in one of two purpose-built spaces dedicated to sports biomechanics. This is the room we would refer to as our analysis suite. And what I've done is I've got out some relevant bits of technology just to give you a little whistle-stop tour of what you might use over the course of the modules whilst here at Chester with us. So first and foremost, we've got pressure insoles. It's quite obvious to see that these would sit within your own shoes and they record essentially the amount of pressure between your feet and the ground. Those recordings would then be used to either enhance performance, change footwear design one way or another, or reduce injury risk. Just across the way on this larger screen, we're using a software known as Quintic just here. Essentially, we place reflective markers on sites of interest. We get the software then to track those markers, and then that can give us a really detailed picture about sporting technique. And final bit of kit I've got out for us here is known as the electromyography unit. And now essentially we take these electrodes and we pop them on muscles of interest, and then they record the amount of electricity that the muscles are producing. Such information then can be used as part of enhancing performance, maybe reducing injury and stuff of the like. Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Heighton and I'm an Associate Professor in Applied Sport and Exercise Physiology here at the University of Chester. You're in one of our biggest exercise physiology labs here now, called the Human Performance Lab. And this is where we do most of our teaching with students. The lab is well equipped with state-of-the-art equipment where we can measure physiological function at rest and look at how the body responds to exercise. That includes various different ergometers, so we've got a treadmill here. We have cycle ergometers, such as these ones, as well as more cycle ergometers round by our computer suite. This is where we do most of our teaching, in this space here. And you can see here our various ergometers, equipment for measuring respiratory function, such as these Douglas bags that tells us about metabolism and the amount of oxygen an athlete might be using. We also have equipment that we can use to measure neuromuscular function. So this is an isokinetic dynamometer, useful for telling us how strong or powerful an athlete is, used for injury risk, rehabilitation, and looking at recovery. Other ergometers, we've got an upper arm ergometer here, you can see, and force platforms that we can use to get force velocity and force time profiles from athletes. So this is one of our smaller and more specialist exercise physiology labs, and this is generally where students will undertake some of their research projects. It has various equipment, again, for looking at how the physiological responses to exercise manifest themselves. We have here, for example, some global positioning systems that you might see rugby players, footballers and cricketers use, and these are able to monitor the distance that players might cover, the speeds they might attain, whether they're accelerating, decelerating or working at high intensities. We've got more sophisticated ergometers in this lab as well, so we have a non-motorised sprint treadmill. We've got 2 cycle ergometers, one which is magnetically braked and one which is air braked. We have a treadmill with a harness which is suitable for athletes running at really high speeds. We've also got various different equipment that again will allow us to look at cardiovascular and respiratory function. So we've got online gas analysis systems here that are able to measure things like oxygen consumption breath by breath. We have an ultrasound machine, which again allows us to look at some of the more mechanistic things that we might want in a muscle and in the heart. And then finally, we've got 2 pieces of equipment here that are able to measure body composition, so the extent to which the body is made up of fat and lean mass.
Welcome all to this tour for the Biological Sciences. My name is Dr. Krista McLennan. I'm one of the deputy heads of the department. I also teach on a number of the undergraduate and postgraduate programmes we have here. This is the Thomas building. Let me take you on a tour. Welcome to one of our research laboratories. So this is our microbiology lab. We have a number of other research labs as well around the building. And this is where both undergraduates and postgraduate students will be getting involved in research as well as staff as well. So this is one of our teaching spaces. This is particularly our Physiology Lab, hence why we have our skeletons. And at the moment we're set up ready for some teaching, so you can see all the microscopes out, and we also have our examples here of our planaria species that are going to be used particularly for this practical. So this is our animal lab. Here you can see we've got fish behind us. We've also got our snails, we have our gecko, and we also have a tortoise too. And these are often used in both undergraduate teaching but also dissertation projects, along with some of our master students as well. Welcome to one of our other teaching laboratories. Here you can see we have a practical set up and students are ready to get going. Welcome to Old College. So this is another one of our teaching laboratories. As you can see, it's a very large laboratory. All our laboratories have just recently been refurbished. As you can see, we have things like iPads on every station, and we also have a lot of our technical equipment as well throughout this particular building. So multiple workstations for students to get involved again while they're doing their practical teaching.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lizzie Deary, lecturer in exercise physiology here at the University of Chester, and today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of the lab facilities within Clinical Sciences Nutrition. Here we have our clinical lab, which is predominantly used for research students at both undergraduate and postgraduate level. We have highly specialist equipment, including ELISAs, HPLC, and specialist immunoassay technology. So here we have our exercise laboratory. This is used by both undergraduate and postgraduate students for both teaching and research purposes. We can carry out maximal aerobic capacity tests using the equipment such as you see here. We have 4 online gas analyzers, and 2 of those are portable, so we can take them out down to the pitch, down to the track, and do some testing out there as well. Within this lab, we also have our active working station. We have activity trackers such as accelerometers, inclinometers, and pedometers. And we also have capillary blood testing facilities. So here we have our food skills lab. Again, this is used for both undergraduate and postgraduate students, research and teaching. So sessions within the Food Skills Lab include things such as basic skills, portion sizes, and covering specialised diets and food adaptations. Next door, we have our Nutritional Analysis PC Lab. Here, students can access Nutritics, a cloud-based nutritional analysis software which they'll have access to throughout their studies here at Chester.
Hi, I'm Michael Randalls. I'm a senior lecturer in Chester Medical School, and at the moment we're in Old College Laboratory. This is one of the main labs that you'll be using during your studies, where we will be doing experiments to study cell behaviour, tissue and organ function, as well as looking at microorganisms, so analysing things like bacteria. On each bay we have lots of the standard laboratory equipment that you'll need to perform your experiments, things like centrifuges, mini spectrophotometers, pipettes, and if we go throughout the lab at the ends of the bays, then we have some of the larger specs and more complex machinery. Compared to here, we have another separate site where Chester Medical School is based, and that's Bache Hall Labs. Now those labs have some more advanced pieces of equipment, things like flow cytometers, PCR machines, as well as more advanced tissue culture facilities where you can grow cells outside of the body. Now this area would be used during final year projects and also master's projects.
Hi, my name is James Ennis. I'm the course director of the Physician Associate Programme at Chester Medical School. You join me here today at Riverside campus. This is our clinical skills suite. This is where we do a lot of the physical examination skills teaching. Our physician associates use this on a regular basis. As you can see, we have mannequins. This is mocked up to be a ward on a normal NHS hospital. And the students come here, they use mannequins, they examine each other, they examine role players or simulated patients. And we have the equipment here for them to do those kinds of physical examination skills, consultation skills, and they often work here in small groups. So this is essentially bringing the NHS into our Riverside campus. It's somewhere where they can immerse themselves in simulation, both medical simulation and within the medical context of hands-on clinical experience. So this simulates what they will experience out in real practice in the wards at our trusts and hospitals around the Cheshire area. When we're not using real people to examine or to assess, we'll use these such mannequins, and essentially we can do whatever we want with these in a safe environment. So one of the big riding factors that we want to ingrain within the students is to learn in a safe environment and to make mistakes here before they go out and see our general public.
Hello, I'm Dr. Elizabeth O'Brien and I'm Head of Group for Science here at University Centre Shrewsbury. We have some very spacious, modern and well-equipped labs here at UCS. Students can undertake their practicals either individually or in groups due to the small numbers that we have. We have an excellent cell culture facility where our postgraduate students do their projects, our masters and our PhD students, and some of our final year dissertation students can also undertake their projects in there. When students are not busy in the lab, we have our very pleasant and spacious seminar and lecture rooms where we can have much more personalised teaching, tutorial style teaching, which allows us to get to know our students really well and support them through their studies. We also have some very specialised pieces of equipment, such as our quantitative PCR machine, which you may have heard about in the recent COVID news. We also have a fluorescence microscope, which our final year students using, as well as our postgraduate students. The Centre for Active Living is where our health and exercise programme resides. They have an excellent, well-equipped gym and laboratory, and the gym is available for staff and student use, where if you wish you can have the attendance of a qualified exercise instructor. The advanced equipment that they have in the laboratory allows them to measure muscle and cardiac responses, as well as looking at blood markers such as oxygen saturation and glucose.
I am now joined on the sofa by our student president, Elle.
Hi everyone.
And we also have John here, who is one of our law students.
Hi guys, how are you?
But before I start quizzing them about their life at the University of Chester, let's take a look at our university life tours at the Parkgate Road campus and University Centre Shrewsbury.
Hi, my name's Kirsty and I study history. Today I'm going to show you around the University of Chester's Parkgate Road campus. Come and have a look around. Parkgate Road is where you'll find many of the university's central facilities, with the main library, sports facilities, student accommodation and the Students' Union all located on campus. It's everything you need, all in one place. In the centre of Binks you'll find our info point, filled with approachable staff here to offer you help and guidance whenever you need it. We also have our brasserie and grab-and-go Starbucks, perfect for that time you want to take a break. Next we'll head on over to the library. Seabourn Library is the main university's library and it is in the heart of the Parkgate Road campus. As well as a variety of books, journals and online resources, the library also offers bookable study pods, perfect for group or individual study. There's also 24-hour access computer suites, perfect for those late-night study sessions. The library is also staffed with subject-specific librarians that are on hand to help with whatever you need. There's also a cafe downstairs, ideal for that well-earned study break. Opposite the library, we have bookable study spaces available for both staff and students. You just book it online and then you have a guaranteed workspace. Chester Student Union is also located on campus. Our students select who they'd like to be their officers and they then represent the students' voice about issues inside or outside the university. The Students' Union is here to support you on campus, whether you're looking for guidance or help with societies. I'm part of the History Society and I found it so helpful to make friends here on campus. The SU is a fun, relaxed space. We have lots of different places for staff and students to eat on campus. Our gourmet burger house offers a selection of mouth-watering New York-style burgers, all made with delicious, locally sourced ingredients. Next to the Students' Union, we have the Hub, which has an imaginative menu with lots of different meals, whatever your dietary requirements are. What's even better is that the Hub has its own wok bar and pizzeria, and all of the dishes are made with fresh, natural ingredients. If you fancy meeting up with friends on campus, then the bar is the perfect place to do just that. Whether you're in the mood to try out a new cocktail or just unwind and play a game of pool, the relaxed, chilled atmosphere makes this the ideal place to hang out. Parkgate Road has many sports facilities on campus. This is the fitness suite where there are qualified personal trainers here to offer you help and guidance whenever you need it. We have a variety of different membership options available to suit all sorts of different lifestyles and budgets. The fitness suite has over 100 pieces of equipment and is also where you'll find our 25-metre swimming pool, spin studio and dance studio. At the bottom of our campus, you'll find a multifunctional sports hall that staff and students can alter the space of depending on the type of sport they want to play. Near to the sports hall, we have the floodlit AstroTurf, used frequently by our sports teams for sports such as hockey or lacrosse. We also have a floodlit 3G mugger pitch, which is great for sports such as football or rugby. Next to this, we have the 60-metre running tracks and both tennis and squash courts. And finally, our Parkgate Road campus is home to the Careers and Employability department. They are on hand to give you help with your career planning, whether that's mock interviews or looking over your CV. It's for people that are currently here or graduates for up to 2 years after graduation. Thank you for joining me on this tour around Parkgate Road campus. We hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm Orla Jones, a second-year student of musical theatre at the University Centre Shrewsbury. Right now, I'm outside the Guildhall, which is our main lecture and study area. It's on the banks of the River Severn and right next to the town centre. Let's go take a closer look. As you enter the Guildhall, you come to our business lounge. And this is the perfect place for students to meet up, just to hang out or to do group work. This area also doubles up as our reception space, where you can come to host conferences or even performances that students can network at. The next room I'm going to take you to is one of our most versatile rooms in Guildhall, and it's just this way. We're really lucky here at UCS that we're taught in smaller class sizes. So when you become part of this fun-loving, close-knit community of staff and students, you'll find that this is our largest lecture room. It can be used for a range of different things, such as our Freshers' Fair at the beginning of the year, open day events, and extracurricular activities such as yoga and dance. I've even done a few performances in this room, such as the Christmas Cabaret and a few assessments with my course. Just round the corner is the library, another really well-used space, so we'll go there now. One of the most useful resources in this library are, of course, our friendly and helpful library staff. You will all get to know them by name, and you can drop them an email with any inquiries you have at any time. One of the most perfect spaces that I love is the quiet study area, perfect for independent work when you just want to get things done. The library also offers bookable pods, which are ideal for group presentations that you all need to practice. We also have all our books and journals available right at our fingertips. They are kept up to date and are perfect for everything that any course here needs. We also have computers available for any online work you need to do, and you can also request and book other journals and articles from any other campus. Another great space in the Guildhall is our open access 24-hour suite. As the name suggests, it's open 24/7 and you can come here day or night with your student card for access. We have computers and printing facilities, and it's a perfect place to get that work done. We also have a vending area just down the back where you can get small snacks and hot drinks to get you through that study work. Or if you want something a wee bit more substantial, you can nip next door to our cafe. Not only is this the perfect place to meet socially, you can get any little snacks for in between lectures served by our fabulous Bean Cafe staff. This is a great place, and it's made even better by this little piano sitting in the corner here. One of our students missed his keyboard from back home so much, he asked the student union if they could have a piano in the cafe. It's here for anyone to play at any time. Speaking of the student union, the lounge is upstairs, so let's go check that out. This is our student wellbeing lounge, where you can come to get away and play pool or play darts, but it's also a hub for so much more. Here you have access to our Student Futures team, where you can get all sorts of advice for anything to do with your student wellbeing. As a UCS student, you also have access to the teams at the University of Chester, where you can get help and advice on things such as work-based learning, studying abroad, a university job, or even learning a language for free. As well as this space, we also have the Student Union's Lounge. We are a part of Chester Union, but we elect a vice president here every year to run activities. We have lots of different sporting events and different teams and societies that you can join here and find out everything that the Student Union do for us, such as the end of year ball at the end of the year that everyone looks forward to. We also have different societies that you can join already existing, or if there's something you're really interested in, you can ask the Vice President and create your own society with a group of your friends. Speaking of all those sports events, let's go and check out the gym facilities that we have here. So this is our awesome gym facility, and there is no slacking here at UCS, as you can book personal training sessions too. This is used by our health and exercise students, as well as available for any other student or staff member. The last place I want to show you is the courtyard, so let's go. This is the courtyard. Right in the middle of the university building, it has easy access from either the students' lounge or the cafe. There's also some extra sports equipment here if you feel like having a shop. This garden was entered by University Centre Shrewsbury in the Shrewsbury Flower Show, a well-known show that's put on every year in the town. That is the end of our tour of the University Centre Shrewsbury. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to welcoming you here soon. See you later.
Okay, so the first question I have for you both is, why did you choose the University of Chester?
Well, I chose the University of Chester because I come from a very small island in the Caribbean, and being here at the University of Chester gave me that sort of community feel. I felt like I was able to integrate quite well. Seeing faces more than once made that even much more easier for me to say, okay, I feel at home here at the University of Chester.
Yeah, I think I chose the University of Chester because when I was looking on UCAS about what I wanted to study and the kind of content that I wanted to see in a geography degree, it just had everything that I wanted to learn. I wasn't quite sure whether I wanted to do a human element or a physical element, and it had both, and it allowed me to choose halfway through the degree. And then when I came to an open day, I just got here and I was like, this is the place for me. Everyone was so friendly. I just felt like I could settle in and feel at home really quickly, and that was really important to me.
Nice. It's nice to hear that you both had that same feeling of feeling at home and feeling like it's where you were meant to be. Lovely. How did you find studying at university level when you first actually started?
It was intense. I think it seems like a big jump, but the staff are all really helpful and they want you to achieve the best, so they're there from the moment that you start at university to the moment that you finish, making sure that you learn the tips and tricks. And study skills personally really helped me just push over that sort of 2-1 to top level grading on some of my papers. So that would be sort of, I'd say.
Yeah, transitioning from A-levels or to university level, it was quite different because at A-levels you're not really doing much referencing and all that sort of stuff. And being a law student, we've got our own special referencing, make life much more harder for us. But like Elle said, the study skills and the library staff helped with that. So being able to teach you how to reference certain pieces of case law, legislation, whatever the case may be, just having them to hand made it much more easier to transition from school to university.
Nice, yes, so it was really the support that you needed to be able to make that next step into your education.
Yeah.
Perfect. Have either of you used any of the support services at the university at all?
Yeah, I've had access to my PAT, which is your personal academic tutor. Your personal academic tutor is basically the person that you will go to from the inception of university to the end, even after you graduated. There you go to for your references once you've graduated, for job perspectives and things like that. Having a PAT is just really great because they help you with things such as your academics, or if it's not academically focused, they help you with things like personal issues. If they can't help you personally, they refer you to other services that might be able to assist you further. Just touching back on that referencing bit, it is very, very important that you keep in touch with your PATs, know who your PATs are, because you don't want to be sending an email to someone asking for a reference at the end of the day and they're like, who are you? You know what I mean? If you just knock and say, hi, I'm here, just have a quick chat. It doesn't have to be about academics, it could just be how you're feeling, how it is you're taking on the course, and just everything like that just really helps you out, once you've graduated and whilst you are at university.
Yeah, like an open door kind of situation where you're able to go and talk to anyone if you need the support there, but also you can book one-to-ones as well, like you're saying, when you do actually have your meetings. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Similar to John, my PAT had a huge impact on my time as a student. I think the biggest impact they probably had on me was I was struggling a lot with mental health, and I'm very open about that. And I turned up at my PAT's door having just been whisked away to hospital with a panic attack. And they said, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, I had a PAT meeting. I had to come and see you. And they were like, no, we're going to Student Futures. We're going to Wellbeing right now. And they took me to Wellbeing, supported me the whole way there. It's fine. And then accessing the Wellbeing services at the university really did change my life. And that sounds like quite dramatic, but without their support and their guidance in helping me sort of lay out everything that I had going on in my brain, and giving me those coping mechanisms and coaching me through how to use those, I would not be sat in this position right now. I would not have had the confidence to run for president. I wouldn't got, who knows where I would be, but accessing those services, really, they're amazing and they want the best for you, and everyone will rally around you when you need it the most. And I think that was so important to me, that when I did need it the most, my PAT was there, the wellbeing support services were there, and that was really important.
Yeah, lovely. And have either of you used the Careers and Employability Service when thinking about what you want to do with your futures at all?
Well, at the law school, we have a designated careers advisor, and it sort of liaised with one of our lecturers. And through that, I had the opportunity of going down to London for a law event at Lincoln's Inn. It's this very prestigious inn where all law aspiring barristers and solicitors tend to go. And just got the opportunity to meet judges, barristers, and people who are already established in the career. And having that sort of helped me to understand more as to what it is that I'm going into, and potentially what is it, the work that I need to put in. So that was really, really helpful.
Yeah, we had staff from the Careers and Employability team come into our lectures from first year all the way through. They kept popping in every so often just to remind us that, you know, they're there if you need to use them. And I think they became much more useful to me in my final year, when I was still deciding, did I want to run for president, did I want to go and do a master's, did I want to go out into the wide world and get a graduate scheme. And they really helped me lay out all my options so I could sort of see everything and plan for every eventuality, really. And I think even now as a graduate, I'm still using them more than I probably did when I was a student, which is really good that they're still there for us after we graduate. They've helped me apply for scholarships and do those practice decision tests or whatever they are. So they have a range of skills and they're so useful.
Did either of you join any clubs or societies as well? Did they maybe help you with your experience at the university?
I joined the Tennis Society, and I'm a part of the Mooning Club at the law school. Being part of the Tennis Society helped quite a lot. It helped me to integrate, meet people, like-minded people, people who are from different courses, and just see the different perspective of different students. And being a part of the Mooning Club also helps me with my public speaking, that I'm able to do this here today. And just being at the university, being able to have those opportunities in itself is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I was part of netball. I played netball since I was little, so to be able to come to university and continue that and play at such a high level as well was really important to me. But I also joined the Geography Society in my final year, which opened my eyes to sort of sides of the stuff I was interested in, but in a whole new way. So that was really important to me, to have the fun side of the academic stuff through the society. So I'm really glad that I did join that, because it allowed you to meet so many more people and make so many more friends, which is so important.
If you could describe the university in 3 words, try and get to 3, which 3 would you choose?
I would say, wait, I had them and they just went blank. Cut. Jesus Christ. Oh, that doesn't help. Do you want to go first?
I can go first,
you can go first.
I would definitely say supportive, dedicated, and it's not quite a word, but it's a phrase full of opportunities.
Can you please expand on those a little bit? I like those a lot. Yeah, give us a little bit more.
Yeah, so I'd say supportive, because I think from your department to the student union to the support services, everyone wants you to succeed. Everybody will help you reach the goals that you want to reach. And for me, that was really important, especially in terms of my mental health and accessing the wellbeing services. The support there was second to none for me. I'd say dedicated, because similar to supportive, the staff put the time into you, and they'll have the one-to-one meetings with you to make sure you're on track for what you want to achieve. And even the conversations that you have with the staff at the cafes when you're getting your coffee, you can see how dedicated they are to helping you succeed. So those little conversations as well, you just feel you just feel like part of a community the whole time. And I'd say full of opportunities because, you know, you've got the Students' Union, you've got society, sports, volunteering, careers opportunities. The list is endless, and just to be able to throw yourself into what you think is right for yourself will just propel you into great things.
Can you add to that? Anything different or anything similar?
Yeah, I could say 3 things that I'd use to describe the university would be interactive, very student focused, and quite energetic. And the reason why I say energetic, it seems very weird to use that word to describe a university, but it's very energetic in the sense that no matter where you are on campus, you always feel that vibe. Like, I can just touch on what Elle said, when you go to the cafes and stuff like that, there's always a smile and you always feel like you're a part of the university. And it's very student focused because a lot of the things that they tend to do here at the university is to see that you as a student excel the best way you can. For example, the careers and employability services, you have that past graduation. So even up to 2 years after graduation, you can still stay in contact with them and they'll be able to help you build your CV, or even if you're in a career already, just help you to just build up on what you've already learned in your career. And I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, exactly. I love the idea that everything that you've both said really does bring back to that community idea as well. I know that I really appreciate going to pick up my Starbucks on campus, and the person who's giving me my Starbucks already knows what I want and knows exactly how I like it. Even though they've obviously had to make coffee for so many people that day, it is just nice to kind of have friends that you don't see every day, but somehow they just remember who you are.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad because I don't know their name. But yeah, lovely. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about Chester City Centre? Any places you like to go, any experiences that you've had, things that you like to do?
I would say I'm a bit of a coffee connoisseur. I love coffee. I think being in Chester, there are a lot of coffee shops, Independence, there are the well-known coffee shops like Starbucks, Costa, Cafe Nero, but one in particular is the John to Go. It's really good because, for example, myself, I'm lactose intolerant, so I tend to want to go somewhere where I know there will be an option of different varieties of milk. And having that really makes it's very important for me. And just being able to get around the different coffee shops, for example, Story House. The Story House, they offer free coffees and teas for students, so that's one of the perks of being a student. And also, just on the back of that, like, we have a lot of restaurants, we have a lot of bars and stuff like that. And because the city itself is very small, it's very close-knit, so you can hop from one side of the street to another side of the street, and there's always something or somewhere to go, whether it be a bar, a coffee shop, a restaurant. That's one of the most important things about being in this city for me.
Yeah, similar to John, but also not similar. I'm a bit of a cocktail connoisseur. So I frequent the bars a lot, and there's a lot of them. I'm pretty sure there's something like 100 bars inside the Chester walls, which is really good. But like John said, everything is within walking distance, like 5 to 10 minute walk from one end to the other. You've got all the high street shops that you could need. You've got restaurants, bars, cafes. And I think just for me, having everything so close by was a reassurance for me that I wouldn't become overwhelmed with sort of the big city, because it's just the right size, that you've got everything that you could need. So that was a big pull factor for me. And also the walk around the Chester walls is really nice as well.
It's a great place to take any family friends that come to see you, isn't it? If you've got nothing else to do, at least you know you can go to a coffee shop and take a lovely walk around the walls. Have you got any advice for any students watching today, anyone who hasn't yet made the decision about what they want to do in their next steps up to university or anything like that?
I'll go. I think my advice would be weigh up all your options. I'd definitely say if you've not been to an open day yet, come to an open day, and really grill the people at the university about what you want to know. I think I often thought when I was looking around universities that I didn't know what I wanted to ask, and then I'd got home and regretted not asking it, and all these questions would come to me. And actually, don't be afraid to go back and email and send those questions in an email to the people to make sure that it's the right fit for you. as much as you fit into the university's got to be right for you, and you're going to know straight away. And with Chester, I knew straight away, as soon as I walked onto campus, I knew that this is where I was supposed to be. So weigh up all your options, and then when you do get to university, the University of Chester, throw yourself into everything that's put in front of you, because it's the best way to make friends, it's the best way to grow yourself as a person, it's the best way to learn about other people's outlooks on life. And that's the most important thing, I think, leaving university, that you've come as a person, you're leaving as someone completely different, in a good way. But I think that would be my advice, definitely.
Lovely.
I think I personally would advise that you have, similar to what Elle said, just like have an open mind when you are looking at university, and sort of look at your options and weigh it up to see whether or not would this fit my particular needs, and see whether or not, if you do go to that university, particularly the University of Chester, that you are able to interact well with the staff, to be able to make friends, because one of the key aspects of going to university, besides getting a degree, is being able to interact with people and make friends, because you don't want to be here throughout your entire student career and not like interact with people, because you never know exactly who you're gonna meet out in the outside world, and that person that you've met whilst you're at uni might be able to help you out whilst you are a graduate. So that's one of the key things I would advise students to look at.
Accommodation is a really important aspect of your time at university, and something that a lot of you have asked to see. So let's take a look at some examples.
At Chester, all university-owned or partnership accommodation is located on or close by the Parkgate Road campus. It's just a stone's throw away from the city centre and within walking distance to our academic sites. We offer a range of accommodation types and different styles, from small self-contained houses to large traditional halls of residence. So whether it's a shared kitchen or studio, or ensuite or shared bathroom that you're after, we have something to suit you. We also offer full board, semi-catered and self-catered accommodation. So if cooking isn't your strong point, why not let us do it for you and dine at the hub? There are also a range of partnership and private sector accommodation options in and around Chester for you to choose from, like the brand new student accommodation complex Tudor Place, located just a short 5-minute walk from the Parkgate Road campus. At Shrewsbury, our safe and secure halls are just a 5-minute walk from the University Centre Shrewsbury campus, and are only a few steps away from local food producers, convenience stores and shopping centres. Mardle House offers self-catered and ensuite residences, and our new purpose-built accommodation, the Tannery, also offers self-catered ensuite rooms. These are single rooms with a shared kitchen with dining and lounge facilities.
So what types of university accommodation have you lived in over the years? If there's different, that's fine.
In my first year, I've lived in university-owned accommodation, and I currently live in a private rent accommodation with other students, of course. But for me personally, I would say I really enjoyed my time in the university-owned accommodation. Reason being, if I have an issue, I can call up at any hours of the night, to the porters or anything, and someone will come around and sort something out or put something in place to be sorted out. As opposed to being in a private accommodation, you ring your landlord, it probably don't pick up, and you have to wait maybe a few hours or a day or two before someone comes out. And just being in a university-owned accommodation in your first year, you get to meet other students and you get to integrate with other people. If you were sort of shy and you didn't have any sort of plans of making friends, once you get to university and you're in a university-owned accommodation, you meet people, you get to chat, you tend to go out for drinks, whatever the case may be. And I think that was quite useful, being in university-owned accommodation here at Chester. Yeah.
And have you lived in accommodation that was self-catered, catered? Did you have your own bathroom? What kind of setup did you have when you were in student?
I was self-catered because I have allergies and stuff like that, and I really, really enjoyed that. The only thing I didn't really enjoy about being self-catered is having to cook for myself. But other than that, I think being self-catered was the best choice for me, because if I don't feel like making something to eat that day, I don't have to. If I want to get something, I just pop down, make a quick bowl of cereal, whatever the case may be. And with the catered service, because I work for the university in the catered service, you know, there's like times, and maybe you can't be bothered getting up out of bed to go at that time. So having the variety of services available is quite great, because you can either do semi-catered where you have your own meals and you go for meals, or you can do fully catered, you go for your meals all the time, or self-catered where you just make it all yourself. And I think that's really great that we have that service available here.
Yeah, because you might also meet people that need to be forced to get out of bed and go and eat the breakfast. So for some people, that's why they might choose that, because they're like, I need to get up, get some fresh air, get my breakfast, and then I don't have to cook it.
Yeah.
And yourself?
So I stayed in university-owned accommodation in Fisher House in my first year. All I wanted when I came to university was my own bathroom, and Fisher House had ensuite bathrooms, so I wasn't too fussed whether I had fully catered, part catered or self-catered accommodation, and Fisher House is fully catered. And actually it was really good for me, because like you just said, I needed to get out of bed, I needed to have my breakfast in the morning to set me up for the day, and it really did force me to get up out of bed. With that being said though, you still have microwave facilities, you still have kettle facilities and small kitchen facilities as well if you needed it in your fully catered accommodation. And that for me was really important, because I, on a Sunday, had a part-time job, so just being able to make myself a pot noodle just before I went, that kind of stuff, you can still do all that and then know that you're coming home to a meal that's cooked for you. And there's so many options as well. I think now more than ever, you know, you can have a fresh pizza made to order, or you could have like a wok box or something like that they make to order, which is really good.
Have you got any advice for students that would be currently looking into accommodation? Any kind of top tips about what to look for when you're looking into your accommodation?
Top tip number one, I probably only have two, but top tip number one is to ensure that you know exactly where you would like to be situated. For example, if you are at the Parkgate Road campus, you need to make sure, or you should ideally look for places that are locale to Parkgate Road campus, so you're not really kerfuffling in the morning trying to rush to a lecture. And tip number two is just ensuring that you, when you do select your accommodation, that you do try and integrate with your housemates, because they're going to be your housemates for a whole year, and you don't want to be sort of a hermit crab in a big house just on your own, because it's not really, like Elle has mentioned, it's not really good in terms of mental health. You want to be able to get out there and just interact with people, even if it's just a small conversation while you're making a cup of tea or just grabbing a bowl of cereal. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. I think my top tips would be, you don't need to bring 8 plates, 7 pans, and you don't need to do it because you'll bring 8 plates, someone else will bring 8 plates, and then you've got 16 plates. So, you know, just be mindful that you will come to share things when you arrive, because you will make friends with people that you live with. And you will share, but maybe label your milk sometimes, because that can often go run about. But yeah, my top tips would just be to plan, but don't like over plan. Don't be too prepared, because then you'll end up sending your mum and dad or whoever home with half the stuff that you brought, because there's no room for it. Definitely.
I'd also label cheese, because that's expensive.
Yeah.
Cheese is very expensive, and I didn't realise that until I started having to buy my own cheese when I went to university. It's like, wow, I shouldn't be eating cheese anymore. Okay, thank you very much for being here today, Elle.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, and thank you very much, John, for sharing your student experience with us as well today.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
That brings us to the end of our virtual campus tour today. We hope you've had a real insight into the University of Chester and what it's like to be a student here. However, if you do have any questions at all, please feel free to pop over to our website. You can speak to our students there via UniBuddy. So if you do have any questions, ask away. And finally, from me, thank you for joining us today. We hope to see you very soon.